You're listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.
It's Monday, May 18. I'd like to share some thoughts about founders. Because, imagine buying a massive Korean beauty brand for $700 million and then selling it back a few years later at an 80% loss.
Yeah, that is a brutal haircut.
Right. And why does that happen? Mostly because you completely misunderstood the local ecosystem. So today, we're pulling from a fresh stack of Seoul Economic Daily reporting to build your roadmap for navigating the Korean market.
Exactly. Our mission is to grab those vital nuggets you actually need. We're looking at record venture capital, new fintech infrastructure, and, well, that massive K-booty M&A reversal you just mentioned.
Yeah, let's just jump right into the capital side. You're looking at the Q1 numbers, and they're pretty wild.
Oh, they're staggering. I mean, just in the first quarter, venture investment hit 3.3 trillion won, which is about 2.35 billion US dollars.
Wow. That is a lot of cash moving around.
It is, but what's even more critical for anyone building right now is that new fund formation reached an all-time record. We're talking 4.4 trillion won, or $3.14 billion, and it's heavily concentrated in AI and biotech.
Okay, let's unpack where all this cash is actually coming from. Massive driver here is the Mother Fund.
Yeah, exactly. So the Mother Fund is the Korean government's fund of funds. It basically acts as the core anchor for private VC formation.
Got it. So they step in first.
Right. By injecting that baseline capital, the government essentially de-risks the landscape. And that incentivizes private limited partners to step up and close these massive new funds.
Okay, so if the Mother Fund is kind of like a starter log for a campfire, is this capital actually warming the whole startup ecosystem or just creating a few massive bonfires? Because looking at the data, seed stage funding is actually dropping while total funds are at record highs.
Yeah, it seems total backward, I know. But it is definitely creating a few massive bonfires.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, because there's so much fresh capital sitting in these newly formed VC funds, they need to deploy it efficiently into proven models, not, risky seed ideas.
So if you're a founder right now,
If you have 12 to 18 months of solid traction, you are perfectly positioned to capture this heat in the second half of 2026.
that makes total sense. And all that late-stage capital needs a modern infrastructure layer to flow through, which kind of brings us to Korea's most significant fintech battle right now, the won-denominated stablecoin.
Oh, yeah, that race is heating up fast.
You've got legacy giants like KB, Kakao, and Hana scrambling to build coalitions. But TOS, with its 30 million users, is the central variable everyone wants to partner with.
What's fascinating here is how regulation forces all these players to the same table. Korea has strict requirements for real name account partnerships.
And just to clarify for everyone, that's the regulatory mandate linking any crypto exchange to a personal bank account in the user's actual name.
Exactly. It's designed for strict security and anti-money laundering. But practically, it turns traditional banks into absolute gatekeepers.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me, though. If TOS is the ultimate group project partner everyone needs, do those real name accounts make the traditional banks the true gatekeepers? Or are they entirely at the mercy of TOS's massive user base?
It's an incredibly tense standoff, honestly. The banks might hold the regulatory keys with those real name accounts, sure, but a stablecoin without adoption is useless.
Right, and TOS owns the users.
Exactly. Whoever negotiates this successfully and wins the consortium battle will define Korean B2B settlement rails for the next decade.
That power of a hyperlocal ecosystem advantage, where having the local users beats traditional authority, that isn't just isolated to fintech. It's currently driving that massive M&A reversal in consumer brands we mentioned earlier.
Right, the Dr.Jart Plus deal.
Yeah. Back in 2019, Estée Lauder acquired Dr.Jart Plus for over 1 trillion won, about $700 million US dollars. Following heavy losses, a Korean private equity consortium is buying it back for at minimum 200 billion won, or $143 million. That's an 80% discount. How does value collapse that fast?
To understand why a local consortium can revive this while a global giant failed, you have to look at the invisible engines of Korean beauty, ODM, and OEM.
The contract manufacturers.
Yes, these are specialized contract beauty manufacturers. Brands don't need to own their own factories because these manufacturers handle the complex chemistry, product formulations, and rapid production cycles.
So Estée Lauder basically bought a race car but fired the local pit crew. Does that 80% discount reflect poor conglomerate management, or is consumer brand scale inherently fragile?
Oh, they absolutely fired the pit crew. It strongly points to management. Estée Lauder applied a generic global standardization playbook to a brand that thrived precisely because of local speed, influencer distribution, and rapid formulation cycles.
You strip away that hyperlocal engine and the car stalls out.
Exactly. Acquirer identity matters. Local speed and distribution networks now just outcompete global standardization playbooks.
So what does this all mean for you? Whether you are raising funds, building on new settlement rails, or eyeing an exit, a generic global strategy is no longer enough. You have to ask yourself, how deeply integrated is your local ecosystem strategy? That's today's AI PRISM Founders. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI PRISM is a Ron Ifrah award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI PRISM from Seoul Economic Daily.